Welcome back to the Win with Dice podcast, a podcast featuring members of the Win with Dice team. I'm Calvin, and I'm joined here by Ramon.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out the Win with Dice podcast. This is a podcast all about tabletop RPGs. Calvin and I take a casual approach to the hobby, so on this podcast, I'd like to talk about the games that we run and the games that we play in, and the cool, wonderful people who we get to experience the hobby with. And if this is your first time hearing about, I think we're talking about Pathfinder today. Well, I guess Paizo games in general. There was an update, right?
Yep.
So if it's your first time hearing about those games, hey, go find some friends and a table and some dice and go have some fun with that game. And if you are a player at someone's table, hey, maybe it's your turn to run a game for your friends.
Indeed. So as Ramon said, we are hopping into some Paizo news after the recent Paizo live stream. There's a whole bunch of news that was dropped on Starfinder Alien Core, Pathfinder Monster Core 2, and some previews for the Pathfinder Draconic Codex. So we're going to get into all that cool stuff. But before we do that, we have to get to the most important part of the show, the Win with Dice Weekly GM Tip of the Week.
Yes, the Win with Dice Weekly GM Tip of the Week, brought to you by Calvin. Thanks, Calvin.
Yeah. So, it is a very barely kept secret that I am preparing to run some stuff over on the Untold Stories Project channel next year. There's some stuff in the pipeline that's coming. And with that, I have been working on a Session 0 document because I want to get people prepared to hop into the game. I kind of want to hit the ground running with the first session once we get going. But obviously, I need people to make characters. I have to integrate those characters into the story. I'm running a pre-written adventure, so I have to figure out spots where I can work those characters' histories and backstories into the game itself. So I just wanted to talk about the importance of creating that sort of Session 0 document, something ahead of time to show to players. Whatever you want to refer to it as, your campaign pitch or description or something like that, just to let players know sort of the game to expect, sort of what tone you're going for, what kind of characters they can make, what sort of story you're planning to go through, just to get ideas flowing so people, they know what to do. So they don't come in with a character that it wouldn't fit the story you're trying to make, or it'd feel awkward, or they'd feel out of place and just wouldn't be fun for anybody involved, really. You just want to sort of set that bar so everyone knows where it is. And even in some cases, if there's a case where they don't want to play a game like that, and they know ahead of time, so you don't get into like a awkward first session situation.
And that document too, if you are changing any rules or doing anything that is outside of the bounds of something that the players could reasonably glean from the rules book, like you're borrowing something from another system, or maybe you're tweaking some things, this is where I'd put it. And it could be also, transformed into like a reference document for your campaign or adventure or whatever you're going to do. Something that your players can just like look on their own instead of asking questions, right? Like even like, think of it as like your FAQ or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's super useful to have something like that, some sort of reference like that. I do have a bit of that for the other Lancer campaign that I started, the more West Marches style one. I know not everybody's going to check it out, but I do like having that reference because I think it's important just in case someone has a question or someone has an idea, then there's just that availability of the document there.
Yeah, and I think it's fun to have like a document or a sheet or something that it's like for the party instead of individual. We have a bunch of individual stuff, but we don't have a lot of stuff for the party to like collaborate on and work together and like review. I think that stuff is cool. And, it doesn't happen very often. Oh, yeah.
I absolutely... I don't want people to feel siloed when they're making their characters. I want people to, think of possible connections to other people in the party. I would love if that sort of thing happens. Just so we can start off with those relationships and then delve into them further and then see what develops as the game goes on. I don't want it to feel like a bunch of random individuals who have now been flung together.
Well, just put that into your Session 0 document. Just be like, you choose a player after you hear their pitch or whatever. Like maybe you could just publicly share the pitch or whatever for your character and be like, you pick one who you think is cool and be like, we have a past and it doesn't matter what it was, but reasonable enough to work with each other, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is the sort of thing that I am going to try to work in. I'm just making sure I have all my ducks in a row at the moment. I'm trying to get one last player into the game, and then I will finish off that document. And then I gotta get ready to stream a game. A whole campaign, which I've never done before.
Wow. For you folks, you'll see that on the Untold Stories channel only, I think.
I mean, going into next year, I'm probably going to talk about it on here, and I might even do recaps and stuff because it's been a while since we've done those.
Oh, we should do Lancer recaps again. That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there you go, folks. There's your tip of the week. Session 0 documents are super useful, and you can put a bunch of information there and set the tone for your plays for the campaign and turn it into a reference doc maybe as the game kind of goes on. So something where you can centralize that key information for players to reference.
Indeed. All right, let's hop into the episode proper here. So as I said, a recent Paizo live stream dropped a whole bunch of news on some current and upcoming Paizo books. So we're going to dive into those things, get into all the new information. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's going to be a bunch of images of stuff that I'm grabbing off of the stream. If you want to check out the stream yourself, there will be a link available to the Twitch channel below, so long as the VOD is available. So check that out if you want more info. We're going to try to summarize things. There might be a few details I don't have included here. Some of the Q&A stuff, for example, I didn't include all of it. So if you want to get the full details, definitely check out the stream itself, but we're just going to dive right in. So this stream was hosted by Maya Coleman, who is the community and social media specialist, and Alex Speedell, who is the convention and organized play manager. We did get into a bunch of books, but at the top, there was also coverage of some projects that are partnered with Paizo. Essentially a bunch of Kickstarters, basically. Just a quick check-in on Starfinder Afterlight, which is fully funded. They're working on the game. And because they've reached all their stretch goals, now the game will have full voice acting for the entire game. So I am excited for that. There is the Pathfinder Carrion Crown for Savage Worlds on backer kit, being done by Pinnacle, who is the publisher of Savage Worlds and Deadlands and other games. They have a Savage Worlds conversion of the Pathfinder Carrion Crown adventure, which includes a bunch of pawns and maps and accessories. So if you're into that adventure and that system, there's a link as well below. And in addition, this was a new thing to me, Skittering Through the Stars, which is a size and gender inclusive apparel and accessories line that's inspired by Starfinder and designed by Savage Sparrow Studios, which is hard to say 5 times fast.
I was gonna say that was a mouthful.
It really is. There's a link to that Kickstarter below. The clothing collection includes a Cosmic Creatures dress, which has pockets, which I'm told is a good thing, as well as a t-shirt with the Captain Concierge character that's been in a bunch of Starfinder stuff, and a Starfinder logo cap that looks pretty cool. I kind of want the cap, actually. So if people want to check out that Starfinder-inspired clothing, there's a link down there as well. But let's get into Starfinder 2nd Edition, the game. So this section included Mike Kimmel, who is the senior developer on the Starfinder team and the dev lead for the Alien Core book. This book, of course, features a whole bunch of... It's got 200 creatures, or over 200 creatures. A lot of them are revamps from 1st edition, basically bringing them into the new game. The cover, which I think we talked about before, it's got this rampage demon on it, whose insides are feeding into the gun that is mounted where their hand used to be, which is very metal. It's pretty cool. And yeah, there was a whole bunch of creatures. I'm just going to go through all the ones that we saw pictures of, basically. The Nisolora, which is like a dinosaur that has big jaws and a sonic roar, as well as these telepathic senses that it uses to hunt, which feels maybe a bit too powerful. There's the Capin, which is this agile predator. It's essentially like a scaly wolf-like creature that has these tentacle appendages. The Garagkal, it's this winged leech creature that latches onto people in the drift and then can drain their life force. There's the Void Palm, which is a palm tree, essentially. It's a plant creature that can interfere with gravity and anti-gravity around it. And it's capable of, like, spreading its seeds through space.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I actually do love a cool psychic palm tree. Pretty sure that's a Pokemon, but alright.
Probably.
That's like... Yeah, that's a Loan Executor. Oh, I guess a regular Executor is also a palm tree. It's psychic type. Anyway, it probably could also learn gravity too. Moving on.
Well, now you can get some Pokemon in your Starfinder.
I know.
Every time I see a plant creature in Starfinder or any space property, I immediately think of the Thorian from Mass Effect. Somehow I'm always drawn back to that.
Yes, the Thorian, the crazy plant monster. Ooh, spooky.
There's got to be something that fits that trope in Starfinder. If not, then maybe that should be in the next book. There is the Tempori, which is a new creature. It is a psychopomp that hunts people who try to use time travel or time manipulation to cheat death. And again, there's creatures who are being remastered. There's the Oma, which is the starship-sized space whale. Actually, in our home game, I ran a combat with you guys in one of those.
Mm-hmm.
The book isn't going to include ship rules for it yet, but you can still do like a cinematic starship encounter. And it also has updated lore, because apparently in the lore of 2nd edition, the space whales have been acting very differently. They've been attacking drift beacons, and something is up with them that may come up in a future adventure book or something like that. There are several pages of robots of all sorts of different kinds. Apparently this was something that stood out for people in the 1st edition and they wanted more, so there are a ton of different kinds of robots, from like combat robots to civil robots. There are 3 new nymphs, so specifically like nymphs like dryads, they protect like specific trees or forests. So there are new ones that protect stars and asteroids and black holes. The black hole nymph looks pretty freaking cool. Although, if you need a protector for a black hole, I feel like there's probably some pretty dangerous threats out there.
I mean, there's like the time dude, so yeah.
Yeah, they got a, I don't know, like a Guardian of the Black Hole just sounds like such a really cool name. I really want to fight one outside of Black Hole. There's new dragons in this book as well. There's 4 dragons, 1 for each magic tradition. We saw a couple, the Cosmic Dragon, which is this divine dragon that's tied to cosmic forces, and the Host Dragon, which is a primal dragon that is covered in bugs or made of bugs. Also, its breath weapon is a spray of bugs.
It's just bugs all the way down, baby.
Yeah.
Do you like Tyranids? Because this is Tyranids. Like, Tyranids are just bugs that shoot other bugs that poison you with more bugs. Like, it's like all of it's bugs.
I think I prefer just the fire breath instead of the bug breath.
Honestly, you know what the weirdest part is about the Tyranids? I think actually the weirdest part about the Tyranids is the fact that the guy holding the gun and the gun are 2 separate people. Like, the guy holding the gun itself, and the ammunition too are like all 3 separate things that are just like working together. And like the weirdest part is like they don't even get a choice, right? It's not like they can like switch guns. Like they grew together, but they're literally 3 separate things, and they all can think separately. Like, it's so weird. I love it so much. Ugh, Warhammer, you weird ass game.
I feel like we should do a Warhammer episode of some kind in the future.
Sure. I don't know what you even know about Warhammer, Calvin. Maybe we could
Very little, honestly.
I can teach you a bunch of nonsense about the Warhammer world, and then show you how expensive the models are.
That part I do know.
In time and energy and money, like all of it, it's just a big investment to roll a bunch of D6s. It's cool, but also not cool at the same time. But hey, I don't know, listeners, tell us about your Warhammer hobby that you're doing, if you are doing Warhammer stuff, or if you have, and what's your coolest army that you got, or favorite mini. Actually, I got lots of cool favorite minis, but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that seems like a dangerous thing for me, because I got like a couple of Gunpla models that I bought and haven't built yet, and I'm looking at a bunch of Battletech stuff as well.
Oh, Calvin, don't even think about looking at my pile of shame that I have not even like put together, or like units that are still in their gray plastic form. Like, I don't know, man. I think it's definitely an episode in that.
Yes, there is. Gosh, where was I? I lost track. We were talking about dragons. There's a whole bunch of dragons. There are NPCs in the book as well. There are like a few factions that are covered in the book, including the Hell Knights and the Aslanti Aeon Guards, which I think at this point I'm just going to have to collect all the Aslanti stuff and put it together in a collection myself, because I keep wanting that setting book and I don't think it's going to happen. There are Sapient Orbs, which I don't know a whole lot about. I guess there's just psychic orbs of different colors and different attitudes. There is a Flare Leech, which looks very scary. It eats victims from the inside and then like wears their skin and pretends to be them. Apparently there are a number of creatures that will like do that sort of, like pretending to be someone else kind of thing.
Oh my god. The funniest thing would be like have a campaign where like you're trying to track down one person, but he's actually was 5 things, and they keep changing whatever that thing is, and you keep finding like the dead body of like the other thing that it was where it gets good, and you're like, what is happening? And you're like, because you're like, oh, this person's impersonated or whatever, right? But then you find like the dead thing, right? That was like that was impersonating, and you're like, okay, wait, if this thing's dead, why is that guy still there? Is he still the right person? And then you're like, wait, no, he's not.
He's being
It's
controlled by something
some other
else.
thing. Yeah. There's just like like a I don't know, like a 4-link chain of like
Just-
different people inhabiting the same body, but in different ways.
Just all passing the same body around.
Yeah, that's like that would be the funniest thing. And then you would have to figure it out all at the end, and everyone's just confused. I don't know if that would be fun to play, but hey, if you could figure it out, there you go. Here's your free idea. Like,
Yeah, there's a one-shot in that somewhere.
yeah.
There is a creature that I didn't get the name of, but it like stows away on ships and then hunts down the crew of the ship. Apparently, like they just gave the artist just the concept of the creature and expected something a bit more like those. I guess it sounded like they expected something more like those fluffy dudes from Star Trek, those fluffy little creatures, but instead it's this like terrifying thing. And then there are war machines that are developed and remotely piloted by the Algothu, who, you know, remain hidden behind the scenes deep in space. These like massive aquatic creatures that are always on the edge of the scene manipulating things. I think this especially around the Aslanti as well.
Cool.
And then there's a creature who also didn't get a name of, but was just described as it explodes like a nuclear bomb upon death, which you're gonna have to do some research before going to fight this thing, because I don't know how you get away from that.
I don't know, but I hope it's just like a reactor elemental, like just
Ooh.
uranium elemental.
Ooh,
Like,
that'd be cool.
yeah, that'd be kind of fun, or like some sort of star god thing. That sounds dope.
Like instead of a adamantium dragon, it's a uranium dragon.
It's a uranium dragon. Watch out.
That'd be pretty sweet, actually. And then the book itself will also have ways to make adjustment for creatures. So if you want to make a non-sapient creature intelligent, like anything that has like -5 intelligence or whatever. If you want to make a creature into a hard light hologram, or any sort of projection, or if you want to make a creature into a robot, there's ways to sort of add templates to adjust those. So a whole bunch of stuff to bring creatures into sci-fi. So yeah, a whole lot of cool stuff going into the Alien Core book. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, there's going to be a bunch of screenshots and stuff because there's so much cool art. I think one of the things these books really nail is the art. So definitely check all that out. There's a couple other books. There is the Monster Core 2, which I'll just flip through really quickly. Luis Loza was on, who is the Rules and Lore creative director, was on talking about that book. It features a whole lot of creatures from Pathfinder 1st edition or remastered versions of Pathfinder 2nd edition creatures, as well as creatures from previous adventures that now get expanded upon. So you've got an Accuser Devil, which is like it's like a half-human, half-fly thing that just looks terrible and disgusting. There's stuff from real-world mythologies. There's kappas, there's golems, which are, changed to be closer to mythology. There's Zitzi Meetle, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, from Mesoamerican mythology. This very cool-looking god of death that's also tied to, like, childbirth, that apparently Louis specifically asked for it to be on the cover. So, very excited for that book cover.
Nice. There's
dragons, of course. There's dragons in every book. There's like 8 dragons in this book. There's the Volnagur, which is a high-level spawn of Rovagug, and it's one of a handful of creatures in the book that are level 22, like these final boss creatures. And then there's just a bunch that we went through very quickly. There's like a living topiary, which is like a living hedge bush. There's goblin snakes, which are snakes with goblin faces, which, sure, why not?
just silly guys. Really? That's they got goblin dogs and goblin snakes. Oh my god.
Just too many. It's too many goblin things.
Honestly, they should just put more goblin stuff. Just have like a whole goblin like
Goblin book.
society.
Goblinic
Goblin book,
Codex.
everything. Yeah, just like like 50 different goblins, and they're all just like goblin whatever, like goblin chicken, or like I don't know, like, like.
But everything's just like a regular creature, but with a goblin face.
Yeah, we're just with a goblin face on it. Like, it's just like, look, this is stats for this goblin cow. It's just like,
just regular cow, but meaner.
Yeah. I mean, that's also a Warhammer thing. Oh, Calvin, you don't even know.
I don't.
You don't even know, dog, about all of the goblin cows out there.
I feel like Helldivers gets close to Warhammer in terms of like, the lore of it, but probably not the tone. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that'll be the thing for 2026. Calvin is getting into Warhammer,
or maybe enough to you to like play a Warhammer game or something like that. That might work out, because like, man, like there's so many little silly dudes in Warhammer that you're just like, what? And it's like there's like so much crap happening, and each of the factions are all weird in their own way. I guess like maybe that still happen, but like we keep bringing stuff up. I can't stop thinking about all of like, oh yeah, that's like a Warhammer thing. Like,
I've heard the orcs are pretty cool.
The goblin stick specifically has to do with the orcs, so yeah.
All right, well, folks, if you want to see Warhammer stuff, let us know, and then we'll figure something out. But yeah, again, there's just a bunch of creatures that we saw. Of the ones that we saw, one of the other ones that stood out to me was the Soul Rider, which is like, it latches onto souls that are traveling through the afterlife the same way that like a remora fish latches onto sharks. And I thought that was a really interesting concept. I'm kind of curious what they do with it, like if it just eats that soul, or if it's more of a symbiotic sort of thing. I don't know, it would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Monster Core 2 as well. And then finally we get into Draconic Codex. This is the upcoming book. It got a cool new trailer. And then this section was hosted by Maya along with Lewis, and then Eleanor Farron also joined in, who is the senior developer on Rules and Lore and lead dev on Draconic Codex. And yeah, this is just Dragons. This is Dragons the book. The dragon stat blocks in the Monster Core books are very long, and there isn't much room for like lore or anything else. So this is where all of that lore and details go. And all of the very cool art. There's sketch-like art that it sort of looks like it's meant to be something in universe, but it also is just the concept art for all of these creatures. So it goes into detail as to like what they are and what they're made of, and it looks really cool if you picture it as an in-universe thing of someone trying to draw these creatures. But it also is cool in a production sense because we get to see the concept art. There's a ton of character options in this book. There's some sorcerer bloodlines in this book. You can steal power from dragons. A dragon can be your patron, especially if you're like a kobold creature. We got some detail on the Dragonet, which is an ancestry that a player can take, where you are a small dragon. Didn't get too much more information than that. Apparently there's a blog post upcoming with more info. I tried to check the site, but it is currently down and being updated. So I think by the time this episode is out, or maybe a little bit after, people will be able to experience the new Paizo website. So that is exciting as well. But yeah, I think some of the stuff we already knew about as well. I think we heard about the Archdragon earlier, which is like a step up from the current levels of dragon. The Barrage Dragon, I know we talked about before. It's like a dragon that has a bunch of cannons in its chest, and they all fire magic missiles.
Yes! More!
So
gets me so excited.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun.
To have my dragon and eat my tank too? Like, that's crazy.
I don't know how high level that one's going to be. Well, I guess because it can be any age, right? So you can put it to any difficulty. So, I don't know. I think when this book comes out, we're going to have certain things to worry about in our home game. I think Sandpoint is going to have some extra troubles.
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's definitely dragons in that campaign, and I may or may not switch them up, because I think they're pretty generic dragons. I don't remember if they even have names or backstory or lores, but strapping a bunch of cannons to them might be pretty funny.
Oh no.
So yeah.
Oh gosh, okay, well that's something to be looked forward to and be terrified of.
Yeah, they should strap more guns to stuff. Like, like, yeah, just like, you know, palm tree with gun. That would be good. I'm so good at designing stuff.
I mean, you could just take that palm tree, make it sapient, and then arm it.
It's true. That's true. And then like, but instead of a palm tree, it's like a coconut tree. It'll just shoot coconuts. Yeah, that sounds pretty funny, actually.
I'm kind of picturing like this lush tropical planet with all these really like nice plants and stuff, but they're all secretly connected to this network that it's just the Thorian, but like tropical Thorian.
Yeah, it's just but like everybody's packing like. Yeah,
like everyone's vacationing there. Like they know what the planet is, but it's like, you don't mess with us, we don't mess with you. Everybody goes home happy.
Yeah, for sure. There's like parts of the island that you can't go to, or what are planets you can't go to, and then if you go there, you just get shot down by anti-air Gatling coconuts trees.
That would be something though. It's like a living vacation planet. And it's like, as long as you show up with something to feed to the planet, you can have this lush paradise that's unlike anything else in the universe. Just don't go in certain spots.
Yeah, and you can't take anything off planet.
Oh, no.
You can have like a smuggler, like a contraband subplot that has the dude who was like 5 dudes.
That's what it is. Something snuck on the ship. It's just messing with this planet.
Honestly, like, could you imagine if like there's like a criminal organization, right? And the leader was 5 dudes, but they kept switching dudes, but nobody knew. So like all these disparate groups are working for this one dude, but they don't know why, and they realize that the guy they were talking to wasn't the same guy anymore, but they just kind of rolled with it. Like, that would be pretty funny.
Like they're all hyper intelligent versions of these different kinds of things that all just keep you borrowing the same body.
But maybe he's like the hotel manager, right?
Like that's one of his identities.
Yeah. So he's just in like a white suit or whatever, and he's like, "Oh hey, let me greet the guests."
Oh wait, what if the other creatures don't know? Like, what if they don't all know? Or if there's one that's new, but the others don't know about it, and it just shows up at like night or something, or when the others aren't present, and then it just borrows the body and does something with it.
Yeah, that's true. It's like the secret body, and everyone's like, who messed with the body? They don't know. And then you could just have the guy have weird conversations with other people that doesn't make any sense until you connect the dots. I don't know, but like, yeah, that would be a pretty funny like one shot where you guys are just trying to go on vacation and get embroiled with this like 5 like story deep like Scooby-Doo mystery, like revealing the villain was a coconut the entire time. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
like something else took over the hotel manager's body, and it created this chaos as a distraction, because what it really wants to take over is the tropical Thorian.
Yeah. But then there's all these like side groups who are like doing like random crimes or whatever at the hotel.
Yes.
But like they're like, oh yeah, but we were working for this dude, and then all of a sudden he just changed. You're just like, but like maybe they're all like weird shapeshifter people, and their only specific way to figure out how to get with but like this person isn't the same person anymore, right? I don't know. That was a little bit of thinking, but yeah, like, take any of those ideas.
See, that's why people should be listening to the podcast, because we just give this gold away for free.
I know. Not, I don't know if it's gold, but it's definitely something workable. Like,
we give this silver away for free.
It's more like copper, dog. Like, I don't know, maybe wood. It's like plywood.
You give this tin away for free. All right, well, we got to write that adventure. But there are dragons. There be dragons. There's a whole ton of them. There are some that are based on like classical medieval art. There's one that I wish we got the name of because it looked really cool. It was this dragon that had earrings that looked like these spoked wheels, and it had a hat, like a witch's hat, and we didn't get the name of it, and it looked really cool. I want to know what the heck that is.
What? That's like a like a sorcerer dragon. That sounds pretty
Right.
cool. Is it magic dragons?
I gotta
Magic
assume
dragon.
so.
Or like a dragon wizard or wizard dragon. Like I don't know the lexicon of that. I guess you're a dragon wizard.
Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You could be like an elf wizard. I don't know. But that's also in the game now. I'm pretty sure. Like that like that sounds dope.
Can it teach? I'm picturing like it takes a human form and the hat looks the same. It's just smaller.
Oh my god, dude. No, I wish this book came out
Right.
while we were running Pirate Campaign. 'Cause
Oh.
I would have totally have that if it is a witch or a wizard or a sorcerer dragon or whatever. I would have that be Aethar versus like it being like a celestial elf thing. I would be like, it would have been way better if it was a cool wizard dragon. Yeah, just sitting on, just watching people do cool fashion shows. Yeah, that sounds pretty dope.
Gotta find a way to squeeze that into a future adventure.
Yeah, true.
The release date for the book is December 2025, so we don't have to wait too long for it. But yeah, a whole bunch of dragons in that book. Apparently, well, for one thing, it'll have, again, more subclass options, but apparently there was enough leftover content for 2 or 3 more books. So it'll depend on the success of this one, whether those get published, but they've got dragons for years. So. And yeah, that was about it from this stream. We just got a bunch of information on these books, so I will, if links are available, if the site is up by the time the episode is out, I'll put links to the actual books below for people to check out. Yeah, I don't know. There's obviously a ton of stuff here that can inspire some creative ideas. Honestly, if you're looking to run something for your player group, I think just having a sense of like what level creatures they can fight, and then picking something that looks cool, or just pick something that looks cool and don't worry about the level. Don't worry about the numbers. They'll survive if the dice allow them. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of cool stuff in Pathfinder, as always.
For sure.
Alright, anything else before we head on into the outro? Because I think that's about it for this particular stream.
No, I think that's it. Well, I guess podcast, Calvin. You're not live. Or are we? No, we're not live.
All right, well then that's going to be the episode for this week. Thanks a ton everybody out there for swinging by and hanging out. There's links to everything that's been mentioned below, so be sure to check all of those out if you're interested. And while you are checking out those links, if you are on YouTube or Spotify or anywhere else, there are links to Lancer third-party writers, well, on YouTube I should say, because I don't have as much links on other sites. Anyway, if you are on YouTube, please check out the links to other Lancer writer, like third-party writers and creators who are linked below, as well as all the games linked below, like Fathomless Gears and Soar and Dawn and everything else we've talked about. If you are into games like that, or Lancer, or Pathfinder and Starfinder, just hang around the channel because we'd like to chat about those things as well. And if there's any other topics you want us to cover, just let us know. Ramon, do you want to remind people of your current projects?
Yeah, well, Mechanized Body. Hey folks, do you like card games and mechs? Well, hey, I have a game for you where you get to pilot your cool mech with a deck of cards with deck of maneuvers. So yeah, it's a card-based mech TTRPG. There is some dice rolling. It's not all just you play cards, but you make your own cool deck and you pilot your mech to save the solar system and unite versus, the thing being destroyed from, all of the war and stuff. Think about Gundam. It's pretty close to Gundam.
Yeah.
And yeah, check out our Discord. We're running plates and skims all the time, and we're also doing lots of updates all the time. So if you want a cool card game that you can play online with your friends, then yeah, come and check out the Discord. And we're also, always looking for people to actually run the game as well as players as well. The second thing I'm working on is Project Versus. This one is a fighting game inspired TTRPG that you can find via our website. Calvin will link that one below. And you like fast-paced violence where, you get to punch people off your turn a lot, then hey, this is the game for you. Everything rests on the roll of a dice and the knockout too. So yeah, check it out.
Cool. So yeah, those are all links below. Check those out. Check out the other stuff on the channel, like the live streams and everything else that's going on. And that's gonna be it for now. So for all of our GMs and players out there who are watching the skies to see if there are any dragons well, isn't there a thing that guards in Skyrim say all the time about dragons or something? It's been too long since I played.
I thought I talked about knees or something like this. Remember?
For all our GMs and players out there who took an arrow to the knee and then someone stole their sweet roll, just remember to keep on winning with dice. And we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye guys.